Hello friends, this is Rishi Gupta once again, and today we'll be discussing something extremely exciting, something that I have been waiting for the past 1.5 years, and I think all of you guys must have been waiting for this as well. So Game of Thrones season 8 episode 1 was aired today, and to sum it up, it was amazing. So you only have 6 episodes in this particular season, so you kind of realize how important each and every episode is, because it takes you closer to the end of what has been a very eventful and satisfying journey. I hope it's satisfying at the end as well of Game of Thrones. So let's start with the beginning. So the beginning was tweaked a bit. There was a new opening sequence. It's kind of the case with almost all the seasons. The opening sequence is tweaked a bit, but again, this time it was pretty different. The opening sequence is important because it kind of gives you a hint about the story, where the story is going to take place, what's going to be important. So that's why I think this is the first time that I have watched the opening to a TV show so closely. So I think the opening sequence happened at 4 places. I mean, they just traveled through 4 places. One was the last Hearth, I think. Second was Winterfell. So again, sorry, I missed the wall. So they start with the wall, which has been broken now, and again, so it's kind of telling you where the story is going. And after that, we move to the last Hearth, and then to Winterfell, and then to King's Landing. So again, you understand that this is the end game now. So end game, I hope you understand the reference. So this is the end game now, and these four are the only places where action is going to happen. So yeah, so again, it was beautiful. It was beautiful done. The entire opening sequence, I watched it twice, and it was amazing. You kind of had a bird's eye view of each and every place, and it was beautiful. So yeah, again, so if this episode were to have a name, I don't know whether it has a name, but if it were to have a name, it should have been Reunions. So in this episode, so many people met with each other after so long. So you kind of realize that what kind of stuff these characters have gone through, and how long they have traveled, metaphorically and literally, to come here. So again, so the reunions were pretty exciting. Some were tense. Most of them were tense, I think. The episode opens with the episode opens with Jon and Daenerys and their entire army and the dragons walking to Winterfell. So the sequence was very similar to what happened in season 1, episode 1. The entire entourage was coming into Winterfell, which had Robert Baratheon and his family, and his soldiers and stuff, and it was very similar to that. So again, it was a beautiful sequence. I really liked it because and especially Dany kind of stood out of the crowd with her white furry coat, and she actually looked like a queen. So again, there was a mixed reaction to them coming into Winterfell. You would expect people to be happy because they are facing a scenario like no other. They are being attacked by the dead, and now they have such a huge army, the greatest army the world has ever seen, as I think Jon Snow says it. So they should be happy. They have two full-grown dragons. What else do they need? But no one seems to be that happy. The general public definitely don't seem happy. They are skeptical. Sansa doesn't seem happy at all. I mean, I understand her distrust of Dany, but I really don't understand how can she be scolding she can Jon Snow for doing something that was so important, so essential to saving the entire mankind, if I were to say that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone likes Dany in Winterfell. Sansa doesn't like Arya. Apparently, is again very ambiguous about Dany. So I don't think Bran. Also, I think Bran is, I think, pretty much ambiguous about everyone. So it doesn't count. So yeah, everyone doesn't like Dany apart from Jon, and I was kind of surprised how open Jon was while showing affection to Dany. I mean, he was openly, sharing lovey-dovey moments with her, as we see in the episode. So yeah, that was pretty surprising to me, but again, yeah, pretty much expected. So yeah, coming back to the reunions part. So a lot of people met each other after a long time, and the most exciting for me was Jon meeting Arya. They were kind of in a mutually respectful relationship in back in season 1, wherein no one else was giving them the respect they wanted, the respect they deserved. Arya was being treated like a child. Jon was being treated like a bastard. I don't know whether I can use this word on YouTube, but yeah, that's what they say on the show. So again, they coming together was pretty precious to me, and it showed me that they actually loved each other, and they still do. So that was pretty nice. And John again coming back to Sansa, meeting again, that was kind of a tense meet. I don't think it was a cordial one. So that was there. Arya met a couple of people. Arya met the Hound. So I don't know what kind of feelings Arya has for the Hound. Again, she wants to kill him. That was apparent earlier, but now that Hound is on their side trying to fight evil, what kind of approach will Arya take? That's pretty unsure. Arya met Gendry, so they had a little meeting. I think more than a little meeting before, in the earlier seasons. So they had a dialogue wherein Arya tells him to build something, to make something for her. And I don't know. I mean, Arya is now a full-grown woman apparently. So I actually saw some flirtatious stares being shared between the two, Gendry and Arya. I don't know whether there's something there or something might happen between those two. But I don't think the Game of Thrones has any more time for pursuing romances amongst characters now. I think it's all going to be action, action, action. So yeah, that was again an interesting meet. I mean, yeah, Tyrion met with Sansa. So they last met when I think Joffrey died. So that was again an interesting encounter, and something that caught my eye was Sansa telling Tyrion that I thought he was the most clever man alive when Tyrion tells her that Lannister army will join them. And I think, I mean, it should have been obvious to everyone that Lannister army is not going to join them, because Cersei is not to be trusted. I mean, how can Tyrion trust her? So yeah, I can kind of see where Sansa is coming from, and yeah, Tyrion is being a fool. I don't know whether he's actually believes it or he's making people think that he believes that Lannister army is going to join them. So yeah, people again. So again, I was pretty tense for Tyrion because the North remembers that it was the Lannisters who betrayed Robb Stark and had the things that happened at the Wedding happen. So I am pretty scared for Tyrion that some common Northerner should not stab him. I mean, end his life. That would be pretty sad and disappointing. So yeah, Tyrion is a Lannister in Winterfell after the Red Wedding. So that's something to be scared for. So yeah, so a lot of things happened in Winterfell. People meeting each other. Bran meeting Jon again. Bran was pretty emotionless about it, and again made some cryptic statements that confused Jon. So yeah, a lot of people meeting each other after a long, long time. That was exciting. So down south, I don't know what's happening. So again, you hate Cersei so much, and I think that's a compliment to the makers of the character and to the actors who's playing the character, that you have developed a character so evil that people are loving to hate, and that's definitely the case. So again, so there's a different story happening down south, and I think Cersei is being the most intelligent of them all. So there is an entire army in the north that is facing the threat. That is the Night King and her army, her golden company that she has tossed from I think Essos is with her back south. So now whatever threat is there at the northern side, the people at Winterfell are going to deal with it, and she's safe for the time being at least. So whatever is left of this epic battle at Winterfell will definitely come down south, and then they can deal with it. So I'm sure there is going to be casualties on both sides. So if the Night King wins, I mean, Cersei is gone anyways, because all of the dead from the Winterfell army are going to join the Night King, and they are going to attack King's Landing. So everyone is gone. And the other scenario is that yeah, Dany wins, Jon wins, and they then attack King's Landing. But again, if they do win, they are going to suffer massive casualties, because a lot of their army is going to perish fighting the Night King. So again, they are going to be a depleted force, and down south, Cersei is going to have all of her golden company and her fleet from the Iron Islands, led by Euron Greyjoy, and her Lannister army facing a depleted force, from the north. that will be led by Dany and Jon. So yeah, I think Cersei is being the smartest of them all. She is best positioned to win the Game of Thrones apparently, but I'm sure I'm not sure per se, but yeah, I think that would be a disappointing end if Cersei ends up on the throne. But yeah, that's a possibility. So yeah, a lot happened in season one. It was most of it was build up. They are building up to something epic. I think that's going to happen in the next episode because they have very little time. There are only 6 episodes now, 5 remaining, so they have very little time to get into details of everything. So yeah, that's why the build up episode I think is done. Second is going to be the action episode. So yeah, looking forward to the episode 2 next week. It's going to be a long week waiting for the next episode. But yeah, the first episode I think it lived up to the hype. It showed us what we wanted to see. It kind of did not show us what we did not want to see. So yeah, and sorry, I have kind of missed an important point here, wherein Jon is kind of found out that he is Aegon Targaryen. So yeah, that came out of the blue, where Samuel Tarly, upon learning that his father and brother were killed by Daenerys, I don't know, in a fit of rage, he told Jon, or he wanted to tell. I'm really not sure, whether he had some ill will now towards Dany, and he doesn't want her to be on the throne. So out of frustration, he tells Jon that she is evil, she is not to be trusted, she is like just like the Mad King, her father, and you need to get your rightful place on the Iron Throne. So yeah, so that's an interesting arc. I mean, we expected it to happen, and it has happened. It will be very interesting to find how this story takes this particular angle when Dany finds out, when everyone else finds out that Jon is actually a Targaryen. What kind of reaction will they have? So yeah, a lot of questions to be answered. Jaime Lannister and the last shot is at Winterfell. I am really not sure how it's going to go for him, but I am pretty sure that now that at least Bran knows his entire character arc and knows that he means well, I think he's going to join the battle at Winterfell, even though he'll be hated by most of the people around. But yeah, I think he will survive for the next few minutes in the second episode. So yeah, that's my review. I mean, it was a great episode, a typical Game of Thrones episode. No one died, I think. No, I mean, yeah, a couple of people died at the last hearth. So yeah, no surprising deaths. Build up, an epic battle to happen. Let's see whether the battle beats the Battle of Blackwater and the Battle of the Bastards. I don't know whether it will be the most epic battle, but the budget that was in the news indicates that it's going to be the most epic battle of them all. So fingers crossed, guys. Next week, next Monday, let's wait for it, and I'll see you next Monday with the review of that as well. Tell me your thoughts. Do please like, do please subscribe, do please share, so that we can keep on talking again and again. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me, and have a good night.